Welcome. Take a breath and just arrive here with me for a moment. Because what you are stepping into is not just another online space. This is New Earth Economy, an online eco-world designed for awakening and development of the whole self, where we're no longer just focused on money, but on ending all forms of debt. The debt held in the mind, the debt held in the body, and the debt carried through our finances, and even the debts passed down through generations. Because we all know that true wealth is not just what we have. It is what you and I are finally free from. And in this journey, we realize something powerful. We do not rise alone, we rise together. So we began exploring new economic ecosystems, built not by institutions, but by people. And today, we are honored to introduce you to one of those ecosystems, Fortune Protocol, an online eco-world built by people for the people, where participation becomes the pathway to a new way of receiving wealth, not through force and not through survival, but through circulation, unity, and shared creation. We came together, we explored, we unified our vision, and now we are ready to share this extraordinary experience with you. Welcome to a new way of seeing wealth, and welcome to the Radical Wealth Builders. We are living in a time of change, and not a small change, a complete shift in how our world operates. What we are witnessing right now is not random. It is the result of systems. Systems that were never designed to sustain the many. We are seeing it everywhere. Economic instability is definitely rising. Inflation is slowly eroding the value of everything people have worked for. Job security, well, it is no longer guaranteed. And the gaps between those who have and those who are struggling continues to expand. It is not just happening around us, it is revealing something deeper. The old system is no longer holding, and when a system begins to break, people begin to search. Not out of fear, but because something inside of them knows there must be another way. And this is where awareness becomes powerful, because the world outside of us is always reflecting what is shifting within us. We are not just living through change, we are living through a transition of systems, a transition of how we work, how we earn, and how we experience wealth itself. And the question becomes, will we continue to operate inside what is collapsing, or will we begin to explore what is emerging? What we are witnessing right now is not just a breakdown of systems. It is the transition between two worlds. On one side, we have what we have always known, the old world, a system built on central authority where power, control, and decision-making have always existed at the top. A world shaped by scarcity, where people are taught there is never enough, and a world where individuals are isolated, competing instead of collaborating, and where status defines value rather than truth or contribution. This is the foundation of what we know as Web 2, a digital world where platforms are owned, data is controlled, money is moved through institutions, and participation is limited. But something new is emerging, a new earth, a new way of interacting, not only in life, but in the online world itself. Through what we now call Web 3, a decentralized place where transparency replaces control and where prosperity can be shared instead of concentrated, where community becomes connected instead of divided, and where service becomes the new foundation of value and creation. This is no longer about being a user. This is about becoming a participant, a co-creator in a new economic experience. A world that is no longer built by institutions, but is now being built by people, for the people. And the question is no longer, is this real? The question is, are you ready to explore it? So what does this new world actually look like? It looks like this: a new financial reality where participation replaces permission, where individuals are no longer waiting, but are actively engaging in the creation of value. This is where we introduce Fortune Protocol, an online eco-world experience built on the foundation of decentralization, where there is no central authority controlling the system, and no single entity deciding who wins and who does not. Instead, everything operates through transparent blockchain technology, where every transaction, every movement, every interaction is recorded and visible, creating something that has been missing for a long time. That is trust. Not trust in people, but trust in the system itself, through what are known as smart contracts, automated agreements that execute exactly as they are designed to, without manipulation, without interference, and without bias. And this is where something powerful begins to happen, because when trust is built into the system, people are free to participate without fear. This is not about one person winning. This is about a community-driven ecosystem where growth is fueled by participation, and where value circulates, and where prosperity is created together. Because in the new financial reality, we begin to understand something simple, yet life-changing. Participation creates prosperity. And the question becomes, what happens when people come together and choose to participate differently? So what does this mean for you? This is not just about a system. This is about a moment in time. A moment where you are being given the opportunity to step into a new era. An era where you are no longer dependent, but empowered. Where you begin to take control of your finances, not through struggle, but through awareness and participation. Where you open yourself to innovation instead of repeating what no longer works for you. And where you are no longer doing this alone, but stepping into a global movement of people who are choosing to think differently, act differently, and create differently. And most importantly, where you begin to educate and empower yourself, because true wealth is not just what you receive. It is what you understand. It is what you embody, and it is what you are able to create again and again. This is your opportunity, not to chase something, but to step into something new. To move from watching to participating, and from surviving to exploring what it means to truly thrive. Because this new era, it's not waiting for permission. It is being created by those who are willing to step into it. Now let's simplify this, because one of the biggest misconceptions people have is that this is complicated. It is not. In fact, it's very simple. There are just a few steps to move from understanding into participation. First, you connect your Web3 wallet. This is simply your personal gateway into the decentralized world. It allows you to interact directly without needing a bank or a middleman. Second, you choose your level of participation, not based on pressure, but based on what feels aligned with you. This is about conscious entry, not forced decisions. Third, you enter the ecosystem, and this is where the shift begins. Because now, you are no longer watching from the outside. You are inside the experience. And finally, you participate and grow. You engage, you contribute, you observe, and you begin to understand how value actually moves. Because this is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about being in the experience and learning through it, growing through it, and allowing yourself to expand into something new. Now let's talk about the entry. This is designed to be accessible, and it is designed to be scalable. You choose your starting point and you grow at your own pace. The available participation levels are $100, $250, $500, and $1,000. That's it. No complexity, no pressure, just a starting point that aligns with where you are. So how do you begin again? The first step is simple. To start your journey with Fortune Protocol, you will first need a Web3 wallet. A Web3 wallet allows you to securely store your digital assets and interact directly with blockchain-based applications. In other words, it becomes your personal doorway into this new decentralized world. And the good news is, you do not need anything complicated to begin. You can use one of these trusted wallets, SafePal Wallet or Token Pocket Wallet. Both allow you to hold your assets securely and connect with the ecosystem with ease. So before anything else, this is where it starts, with your wallet, your access point, your connection point, your first steps into a new financial experience. Now let's talk about how participation is made. Everything inside this ecosystem operates using USDT on the BEP20 network. USDT is a stable digital currency, which means its value is designed to stay consistent, unlike other cryptocurrencies that move up and down. This creates something important: stability. So when you are participating, you are not dealing with constant price fluctuations. You are working with a steady form of value. And the BEP20 network allows transactions to be processed quickly and with lower fees, which makes the entire experience more efficient and more acceptable. Now let's look at how the reward cycle works. Within this ecosystem, participation generates a daily return, starting from approximately 1% per day. As activities move through the system, this continues over time until it reaches a maximum of 200% of your original participation amount. So what that means is this: you enter, you participate, and you move through a defined cycle. Not open-ended, not unclear, structured. And once that cycle is complete, you have the ability to withdraw your returns directly back into your wallet. From there, you have a choice. You can step back, or if it feels aligned, you can choose to re-enter and begin a new cycle, which means this experience can continue. And many times as you consciously choose, and this is where awareness becomes important, because this is not about chasing, it is about understanding the flow. Entering, participating, completing, and choosing again. It's simple and fully in your hands. So when you are ready, here is how you begin. There are just 4 simple steps. First, you complete your referral registration. This means you enter through a shared link from the person who invited you. This connects you to the ecosystem. Second, you choose your participation level. You simply select the amount that feels aligned with you from the available options. Third, you connect your Web3 wallet. This securely links your wallet to the platform, allowing you to interact directly. And finally, you confirm your participation. You complete the transaction through your wallet, and at that moment you are in. You are no longer watching, you are now participating and part of the new experience. 4 easy steps. Simple, clear, and accessible to anyone who is ready to move forward. This is where something deeper begins to reveal itself, because this is not just about individual participation. This is about collective movement. Participation fuels the ecosystem. Every person who enters adds energy and adds momentum and keeps the flow alive. Community builds momentum. Not one person, not one leader, but people moving together, creating expansion. And we all know that expansion naturally increases opportunity. More people, more activities, more movement creates more pathways for everyone involved. This is the true shift. From doing it alone to growing together. From isolated efforts to shared expansion. And when you truly see it, you begin to understand this is not just a system. This is a reflection of what becomes possible when people move as one. And now, this is where it becomes personal. You have seen the structure. You understand the flow. You feel the shift that is happening. So the only question that remains is, what do you choose? Because this is not about being convinced. This is about recognizing what aligns with you. This is an invitation to step into a community where participation leads to both personal and collective expansion, where you can join and grow and earn within a system. So if this speaks to you, if something inside you says, there is more available than what I have been shown, take your next step. Reach out to the person who invited you. Get your questions answered, receive a lot more information, and begin your journey when you are ready. No pressure, just a door that is now visible. Thank you for stepping into this world as one. Together, we are not just participating, we are creating a new way forward.